Hello, I'm Natalia, and today we're looking at change from a completely different angle. What's actually going on in our brains when we face something new? My guest today is Errol Benvie. Errol spent nearly 30 years in leadership and CEO roles in South Africa, including running a consultancy that helped build post-apartheid economic infrastructure. Today, he runs Wisdom Labs, where he applies neuroscience and psychology to how people actually process change. Hi, Errol. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do and why it matters.
Hello, Natalia. Hello, everyone. I spent early time in South Africa, and I had a kind of single ambition when I was younger. I wanted to be a CEO. I didn't want to be important. I just didn't like taking orders. So I figured if I could get to the top, then I could have more autonomy. But when you get to be a CEO, you have to figure out humanity in people, what makes them tick. You have a board, you have 6 managers instead of one, and things are a lot more complicated. I came to Australia 20 years ago and went to Sydney University and got a master's degree in applied psychology coaching, and I did it full time. I had a remarkable insight. I realized all the intuition that I'd accumulated, that in academia, 100 people researched what I knew. They'd given it labels and written hundreds of articles. I was really upset because nobody told me. I thought, I want to become the person I wish I'd met in my career. And that vision has guided the 20 years. And spend a good portion of the time getting into the leading edge knowledge and making it simple enough to pass on to leaders. I seldom tell people brand new things. Senior leaders have a lot of knowledge, but it's about giving meaning to what they already know.
Thank you for that. Today, we wanted to talk about AI. It's top of mind for so many people. You study how the brain works. When someone hears we're bringing AI in, what's actually going on in their head?
That's a huge question. The broad view today in reputable neuroscience laboratory in 2026 is that the brain doesn't wait for signals. The brain is a prediction machine. It makes a guess, it adds a rating, then something happens, and if it doesn't match the guess, it's called an error report. So I make a guess, I think I'm
Alert,
sure, I don't
alert.
know if I'm sure. Yeah, the brain lives in the world like that. It lives where it thinks it's going to happen. If it doesn't, it gets an error, and its job then is to lower surprise, lower the error for the next prediction so it can survive. If a tiger came along, you needed to know whether to run or stand still. If you ran and it wasn't a tiger, you got exercise. If you stood still and it was a tiger, you died. And nature doesn't really care either way, so long as someone lives along and reproduces more of it.
What does it actually look like in practice? Can you help us understand that with an
Right.
example?
Many people would have heard of a 20th century icon of cognitive development, Jean Piaget. He's got these two concepts called assimilation and accommodation. And they are two mechanisms of what happens with a person. Let me give you the example. We all have black pens, and black pens are great. But if we have somebody who has a red pen, they are excited about their red pen, and they front up and go, look at my red pen. In assimilation, the person needs to have a high certainty, not willing to change. They say, thank you for the pen. What do you do with the red pen? But they're not listening. The word pen is the one they're interested in. What they've done is they've changed your red pen into only a pen. If your boss is assimilating and he's quite cranky and you give him the red pen, what does he do with it? He throws it away in front of you and tells you to get out. Because he is really, you're not the person who's going to tell him to accommodate anything. What's happened in assimilation that the world needs to be changed to fit me because I don't want to change. in accommodation, it says, what do you do with a red pen? You say, look, you can't believe how it's changing the world. You now have contrast. When you draw, you have two colors. Now there's a red pen to go with the black pen. What happens in accommodation is I am willing to change myself to accommodate the world. Or in the back of their mind, they knew that black was basically boring and they were waiting for red.
Yeah. And here you are. Then they're ready to hear the new angle,
Yes.
what you call a warm lead.
They're a warm lady, exactly.
Yes.